are here from downtown. Whoa! In my face!
CBS Weeknights. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage returns new Thursday, April 3rd on CBS.
Insurance companies across our area are now using drones to inspect roofs without your knowledge, and many are canceling homeowner policies based on roof condition. Hey guys, it's Anna Christina here for Roof Savers. If your roof is showing signs of aging with black streaks, algae, moss, or missing shingles, it could cost you more than you think. Don't take the risk of losing your insurance. Let Roof Savers help.
Our three-step process extends the life of the asphalt shingles on your roof by 17 years with just one application.
First, we can clean your roof, removing dirt, algae, and those unsightly black streaks. Then, we perform a roof tune-up, replacing missing shingles and fixing nail pop-ups.
Finally, we apply Renew at 17, giving an additional 17 years of life to your existing asphalt shingles.
Don't risk getting a cancellation letter from your insurance company. Call the number on the screen now to see if your roof qualifies. Roof Savers. Save your roof, save your money.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert.
Parker's Kitchen is proud to partner with Wrdw Project to help empower veterans and their families. When you round up at Parker's, we'll make sure to match 25% of your donation to support local veterans.
Live.
Just had rain today on the first day of spring. South Carolina is now under a red flag alert. Let's get right to your first alert, Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. Riley, why the fire risk after the rain?
I know it sounds counterintuitive, Meredith, but even though we saw a little bit of rain today, it is extremely windy out there this afternoon. And behind the front that brought the rain this morning, our relative humidity is dropping. So we have dry air behind this front, very windy, gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour will be possible over the next several hours. So that is why we currently have this lake wind advisory still in effect. And right now, it is still holding in effect until 8 a.m. Friday. So that's the thing. Through this evening, early tonight, we are still going to see these very windy conditions area-wide, and we are going to see some much cooler temperatures be moving in behind this front for tonight as well. Here's a look at it. So we're done with all the rain that pushed through early this morning. That rain actually did overproduce a little bit, brought us just over 1/10 of an inch here in Augusta. Here's a look at the wind threat for the rest of today. So highlighted in this blue color, that is gusts over 20 miles an hour. So we are expecting that through this evening into early tonight. Once we get to early Friday, though, not expecting those winds to be as gusty. So it is going to be a calmer day on Friday. The thing is, on Saturday, the wind is going to start picking up again later into our Saturday afternoon. Gusts 20 to 25 miles an hour will be possible across the central and northern CS array, but going to keep things nice and dry all the way through the weekend. The one thing we have for tomorrow is the special weather statement. That is for that fire risk that will continue on Friday. And we also have a frost advisory in effect for some of our western counties. Remember, for tonight, we are expecting very chilly temperatures, most likely getting down into the mid-30s. You factor in some wind, we're potentially seeing some wind chills down into the upper 20s early tomorrow morning. So a cold start to your Friday. We'll have a look at the rest of the forecast for you in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. Going the extra mile for veterans because they lay their lives on the line for us. That's what Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff is doing right now. Transportation, it is a daily struggle for veterans in rural areas who are trying to get to the VA. But Senator Ossoff is behind a bill that could soon change that. Your Audrey Dickerber joins us live at 5 in our newsroom with more on who this bill would impact and how.
A bill that could impact veterans that live in rural parts of Georgia, and Ossoff says this isn't a favor that the federal government is doing for veterans. It's the federal government making good on its part of the bargain. It's all to help veterans have more options to get here, the VA, easier.
And they're not going to move again.
And just because they don't live by the VA doesn't mean they shouldn't have access to its services.
Veterans put their lives on the line to defend the country. They made enormous sacrifices, and so did their families through their military service. And just because they live in a rural area doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to get the care and the benefits that they've earned through their service.
It would help more parts of rural Georgia qualify for VA programs that provide transportation to a checkup or appointment.
These veterans put their lives on the line for our country. They deserve not just the best care, but care that they can access.
Step in the right direction to help many veterans in our area, but some are hoping to take it one step farther.
That you can commute to a local facility and get the same benefits. That would change a lot,
Hopeful this bill could help serve those who have served us.
where people don't have to drive 40, 50 miles. When you get to some of our ages, like myself, driving 40 to 50 miles just to make an appointment is not real good. And a lot of veterans can't drive, really. So it's important to look at those aspects.
The VA's Highly Rural Transportation Grant Program is currently only available to very rural counties, which is why OSOP is stressing the importance of expanding this bill for veterans.
All right, thanks, Audrey. That affects a whole lot of people in our area, and we will be watching. We're back after this.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
During the Roasted
Smith Limited.
Some moments are too perfect for words. A love so true. A night so magical. At Windsor Jewelers, we help you find the ring that tells your love story. A ring as timeless as your forever. Because when the moment is right, only the perfect ring will do. Windsor Jewelers, where forever begins.
There is strength in numbers.
Where to go and what to do in Huntsville, Alabama. Personalized just for you. Find your sweet spots at alabama.travel/sweetspot.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
Wounded Warrior Project is proud to partner again this year with Parker's Kitchen to help empower your community's post 9/11 veterans, heroes, and their families. Thank you, Parker's Kitchen, for your commitment.
You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
Good evening, and thanks for choosing us. I'm Meredith Anderson.
And I'm Will Rio. Your First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hill joins us live at 5 from the Weather Center.
Yeah, Riley, we had some rain today, but I guess not enough to tackle the pollen problem we're dealing with or even the fire danger in South Carolina.
I know that's actually a new update today, Meredith, is that the South Carolina Forestry Commission has once again gone statewide with a red flag alert. The reason is behind the cold front that brought us the rain this morning, the air's very dry and it's starting to get very windy. We actually have gusts across the region anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour, and that relative humidity is dropping below 30%. And we also got an update on the drought monitor this morning, still showing moderate drought conditions across most of the central northern CSRA, even some of the southern CSRA. So try to not burn anything for the rest of today. And the thing is, the fire weather statement will stick around all day long tomorrow. We are going to hang on to some very dry air through Friday. Take a look at our wind speeds right now. So we actually have sustained wind over 20 right now in Augusta, Aiken, all the way up to Washington. These gusts are well over 30 miles an hour and have actually got it close to 40 miles an hour at times. So we still have a lake wind advisory that will be in effect through tonight. I would imagine we see these really breezy and gusty conditions at least through early tonight. So watch out for it. Definitely going to be gusty out there if you're heading out. Here's a look at our radar network. So all the rain from earlier this morning ahead of that front now moving east of us behind the front, and that's where we're tapping into some colder air and still some very gusty conditions for the rest of this evening. Now looking at on the map here, that blue color you're looking at, that is wind speeds over 20 miles an hour. So that is going to stick around across the two-state all the way through this evening into early tonight. As we head into early tomorrow morning, the wind threat does go away on Friday. Not expected to be too breezy tomorrow, but remember that air is going to be very dry for that fire threat. Once we get into the weekend, wind will pick up a little bit again heading into our Saturday afternoon with gusts at least 20 to 25. I'll leave the rest of the weekend for you in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. Tonight we're getting a better idea of just how deadly some of Augusta's roads are for the pedestrians that try to cross them. Just yesterday, a man was killed while crossing Deansbridge Road.
And while we're working to learn the details surrounding the victim, we do know that Deansbridge Road is a hot spot for these kind of incidents. Your City Hood takes a look at the data.
Numbers tell a story. Nearly 100 deaths within the last decade alone, more than half tied to one zip code.
Dangerous issue we know all too well in Richmond County, pedestrian deaths.
There's been a rash of deadly pedestrian accidents in recent weeks here in Augusta.
Our data goes back 10 years, but the problem, much longer.
Busy year for deputies in Richmond County. They've worked 13 pedestrian deaths, up from only 5 last year.
The man who'd been by her side for 25 years, hit by a car, dead. 53 people died on these 4 roads in the last 10 years, more than half the total number of deaths across the county. We found 50 deaths occurred overnight and 45 during the day. So far this year, 2 pedestrian deaths. A problem with no roadmap to a solution. In Augusta, Sydney Hood on your side.
All right, thanks, Sydney. And a new study from AAA's Foundation for Traffic Safety found that pedestrian deaths have risen by more than 80% in the past 15 years after reaching a historic low in 2009. The study found that nearly all of that increase can be connected to urban arterial roads after dark, like Peach Orchard and Mike Paget Highway, Deans Bridge Road, and Gordon Highway. Research also shows that these deadly incidents are more likely to happen in socially and economically disadvantaged neighborhoods and poor road lighting. And an interesting note from that study to take away, even if you have a high-tech vehicle that has pedestrian detection software, that safety system struggles the most at night and cannot be relied upon to save lives. Only safe driving by you can do that.
It is time to say goodbye to Augusta Tech's president, Dr. Jermaine Worrell. Since joining the college in 2020, Dr. Worrell has brought Augusta Tech to new heights. But he says his next calling is taking him to Savannah State University. Today, a goodbye and good luck celebration was held to honor Dr. Worrell's leadership, his dedication, and his impact. Augusta's mayor giving Dr. Worrell a great honor.
Therefore, I, Garnett Jackson, Augusta Richmond County, on behalf of the 10 commissioners that I serve, is honored to name today, March 20th.
Today is Dr. Worrell Day. It really is incredible what Dr. Worrell has been able to accomplish at Augusta Tech in just a little over 4 years.
Yeah, not a lot of time, but he's done a whole lot here. There was a 20% increase in enrollment between fall of 21 and fall of 2024, and he completed the full rebrand of the institution as well. 5 new academic schools were established. He also established Accelerate Augusta and co-chaired the Biden-Harris administration's Workforce Hub Augusta initiative.
Most recently, partnered with Augusta National and First Tee of Augusta to revitalize the Augusta Municipal Golf Course, affectionately known as the Patch, to establish the nation's first golf education partnership with the city of Augusta.
And that's just scratching the surface here of what Dr. Worrell accomplished in Augusta. News 12 joins the rest of the community in wishing Dr. Worrell the best of luck at Savannah State University. They are lucky to have someone who's accomplished so much in his time here in Augusta.
His legacy will live on. NCAA brackets are filled, and Atlanta is hosting a handful of Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games next week. But Georgia is not getting a slice of the sports betting pie this March. Even if lawmakers pass the sports betting bill that's currently in the legislature, it would not become law in time for March Madness anyway. But for many, frustration is growing with the consistent denial of legalized online sports gambling. Those who want to see it become reality say it's strange that Georgia hosts some of the world's premier sporting events, but doesn't allow spectators to bet on them. Aside from March Madness, Atlanta will hold several World Cup soccer matches in 2026, and of course the Super Bowl in 2028. And it seems like sports betting might be belly up for the rest of the year. The bill dedicated to legalizing it did not make it far, but lawmakers could attach sports as a last-minute addition to another piece of legislation.
Well, North Augusta's animal shelter is celebrating a huge accomplishment. Their pound is empty.
Yeah, great news. And not only that, the facility is also newly remodeled, and they're more ready than ever, they say, to handle the next round of animals. Your Taylor Martin has that story.
Every year, the North Augusta Pound sees hundreds of animals come through their doors, each dog with a different story.
We had a dog that was shut down, and it was actually in that big pen, and it didn't want to come out the corner. You could pet it and everything. It wouldn't bite or anything.
In 2024, they saw more than 300 animals, and they've already reached a milestone in 2025.
It means that we've helped a bunch of animals. We had 32 so far this year.
With an empty and recently renovated shelter, they say their numbers are now a lot better.
Helped beautify from where it was, because we had paint in here and it was chipping and stuff like that. So the floors, this stuff is guaranteed to last a lot longer.
As they continue to work with rescues to return these animals to their families or find them a new home.
We have a lot of rescues on board that we send animals to. Molly's Militia is one of them. Project Freedom Ride's another. And we have Lovable Paws out of Ridgeland.
Reporting in North Augusta, Taylor Martin on your side.
Good to see them investing in that. Hey, this is something we hear all the time. Officer McBride says getting your animals microchipped, spayed, and neutered helps because animals kept for more than 5 days may be put up for adoption or sent to a partnering rescue.
It really is a super easy way to protect you and your pet.
It is.
Still ahead live at 5, your Joseph Doring is live from Sage Valley with the latest on the Junior Invitational. Riley, maybe not the best day for golf
A little
out
windy.
there?
It's been tough out there for them. They had to battle a little rain early, and then afternoon tee times definitely had to battle the wind out there. Wind calms down tomorrow. It's going to be a cold start to our Friday, and then we're tracking our next chance for rain showing up early next week. Full forecast coming up.
Time and Temp, brought to you by your First Alert weather team.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Always believe they're like you're playing a rig game with insurance after an accident. Good thing I know how to win. Mr. Ken Newton will win and they'll lose. Do not play games with the insurance after an accident. The law firm of Mr. Ken Nugent did care. One call, that's all.
I'm Mike Hostelone, and all car wrecks are serious. Fender bender, rear end collision, T-bone, they impact your life, your job, your family. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call the Mike Hostelone Law Firm.
Welcome back, folks. We have a lake wind advisory in effect, and we've had white caps on our lake cam here for all afternoon. Gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour. You can see it shaking around the camera right there. So don't be, not a good idea to be on the lake out there this afternoon. Remember, our lake wind advisory actually sticks around all the way until early tomorrow morning. Here's a current look at how gusty our winds are right now. Gusts up to 37 in Aiken. Sustained wind in Aiken is up to 28 miles an hour, 22 mile an hour sustained wind in Augusta. Gusts over 30 in Washington, Augusta, Saluda, Aiken, even Barnwell, you're close to 30 gusting too. So everywhere across the region it is very windy. This is definitely enough to move around those high profile vehicles, so give them extra room on the roads, and also increasing that threat for maybe some tipped over trash cans. I know in my neighborhood it was trash day today, so hopefully you pulled that in early. We do have these gusts around 30 plus over the next several hours. As we get into later tonight, I would say by midnight tonight those gusts should start to get below 25 miles an hour, but until then it is going to be very windy out there, so make sure you're securing your trash cans out there across the region. Now, as far as tonight goes, we'll still see these gusts up to 20, 25 after midnight, but once we get towards daybreak Friday, the wind threat really goes away. We're expecting a much calmer day throughout the day tomorrow. Now, once we get into the weekend, Saturday, that wind will start to pick up again into the afternoon. Sustained wind out of the west anywhere from 10 to 15, but we could see some gusts, maybe 20, 25 across the central and northern CSRA, but generally sunny skies for your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so that's really the only thing we're looking at for your Saturday to worry about. Now, your headlines for your Friday, remember tomorrow morning is going to be cold. We'll actually wake up in the 30s. Wind chills could hit the upper 20s in a few spots. With the dry conditions in effect tomorrow, that is going to bring back a fire risk across the region on Friday, so a heads up for that. Should be a nice day overall, though, expecting those highs to reach the upper 60s later into the afternoon. Once we get into Saturday, these are the major headlines for your Saturday. So morning temps will be chilly again, waking up in the 30s for the first part of the weekend, and then that's when the winds does start to pick up again later towards our Saturday afternoon, maybe 10, 20 miles an hour. But high temperatures will be warmer on Saturday, most likely hitting the mid-70s, so a nice end to our week Saturday and Sunday. To get an update on the drought monitor today, still showing these moderate drought conditions across a good portion of the region, so we do need some rainfall. It looks like we'll finally be able to see some arrive by Monday heading into early next week, so that's going to be our next front pushing through, along with an area of low pressure. Better opportunity for some shower activity, but not necessarily drought busting rainfall. It still looks like we're going to stay well below an inch of rain over the next week, so Outside that low rain chance on your Monday, just not expecting much over the next week or so. I would say maybe up to a quarter inch in a few spots, but definitely nothing that's going to eliminate our drought conditions across the region. So be cautious. Any burning, remember, try not to burn the rest of today or tomorrow as this very dry air sits on top of us. This is going to be our next chance for rain showing up by Monday. Most likely Monday morning right at daybreak. We're dry, temps waking up in the 50s, and then this front will start to move in as we head towards our Monday afternoon. Looks to be just rain right now. Not expecting those to be thunderstorms, but we'll keep an eye on it. Once we get later into next week, we're back to dry seasonal weather next Tuesday through Thursday.
All right, thanks, Riley. The round of 36 has just completed in Graniteville as the Sage Valley Junior Invitational surges on. This morning, they did get some wet weather that hopefully slowed those greens down. That's where we find our Joe Doring. And Joe, some tighter scores today and new leaders.
Yeah, well, we just heard Riley talk a lot about how the wind has wreaked havoc this afternoon, and it surely did wreak some havoc on Thursday's round in round 2. We have a jam-packed leaderboard in both the girls and boys divisions, and everything is shaping up to be an exciting 36 final holes here at the Sage Valley Junior Invitational. You can see here how bad the wind was. It was wreaking havoc through the trees and on the flag sticks all afternoon. But after round 1, there were just 4 girls under par. After today, there was just 3 of them staying in red figures. Pepisa Rubrong from Thailand was a co-leader through day 1. She fired the best round of the day today with a 3 under 69. She now sits at 5 under with a 3-shot lead. Before Rubrong came along, Scarlett Schrimmer had the best round going for the day. She carded a 2 under round of 70 and now sits in solo 3rd place. She's currently the highest ranked American in the girls field.
It's kind of tough for yesterday, but it's raining in the morning and it's kind of windy than yesterday. But the good thing is they moved the tee forward, so I think it's more more easy and try to make birdie on par 5.
This course is really difficult. It's harder than the courses I usually play. I'm playing the Augusta National Women's Amateur next week, so I think this is really good preparation for that, and I've just been trying to keep a good attitude and just never giving up and trying to place the ball in the best spots that I can.
Now, defending girls champion Asterix Talley never shot above a 70 in last year's rounds. Yesterday, she shot a 77. Today, she shot a 71. That has her in a tie for 7th place at 4 over. Meanwhile, Kai Trump, she sits in dead last at 24 over. We have plenty more from the boys division of this tournament coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. And hopefully, my hair can stay still with all this wind out here.
Joe, you need to get on my level, man. The hair's never moving. I don't know what to tell you, but maybe when you get back, I'll give you some tips. But it's always fun to see how the players adjust to the course each round. We certainly had some wind. You saw the flag sticks moving out there. We appreciate the update from Sage Valley Junior Invitational. Riley, the wind was really a problem today.
It definitely was. Remember that lake wind advisory in effect the rest of today into tomorrow morning for those gusts up to 40 miles an hour. All right, still ahead, we're back with another episode of Reeling with Riley. This week, we're going to Lake Olmsted. Stick with us.
First Alert Radar.
You learn to dance in the rain.
Blaze, McElroy, Magruder, and Kitchens. Our family helping yours.
All right, we are back with another episode of Reelin' with Riley. And we told you last week that we expected Riley to double his count of fish. He had 2 last week. We're hoping for 4.
Yeah, he's rubbing it in our face, right? On this week's episode of Reelin' with Riley, he's taking us to Lake Olmsted.
Well, it is a chilly March morning here, and we are at a very special body of water, Lake Olmsted. This connects the Augusta Canal and Rays Creek. I know there are big fish in here. I've seen people show me pictures of some really big bass. It's not a secret, but they can be tough to catch because it's not a secret. The thing is, it's March, water temps are warming up, fish should be active, so let's see if we can go catch one. I see one fisherman across the way. Let's go to where they're fishing. Any second now, Clayton. Any second now. Big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Oh my gosh, Clayton. Good fish. Good fish. On the spinnerbait. Dude, he ruined the spinnerbait. Look at that fish, though. That is a Lake Olmsted stud. Actually a mama. You can see probably full of belly, about to get on the bed. Man, what an incredible fish. Here, we'll get it back in the water, and we'll get a weight on it. 412, almost a 5 pounder. 412. That's a dang good fish right there. That is worth probably the 150 casts I made today. Man, it paid off. What a beautiful fish. So after catching a big fish like that one, always want to make sure you check your line. Make sure there's no chafing or anything that can make the line break a lot easier. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and retie just to be on the safe side. That way we're ready for the next fish. No! He spit it. Bait in March on a sunshiny day. All right, so wrapping up the day here at Lake Olmsted, we caught a great fish. We lost a couple. The one tip for the day, always check your drag. I was actually restringing a couple rods last night, getting prepared for today, and I forgot to set the drag again. So setting the hook on a couple fish, didn't get a good hook set, and I think that's likely why we didn't land those two fish we did miss. But hey, the day was made with that almost 5 pounder, 4 pounds, 12 ounces, a phenomenal fish, and just goes to show you that Lake Olmsted has some big ones in it. Now, they can be tough to catch, but a little bit of patience usually pays off. Thanks for joining us again this week. Tune in next week with Reelin' with Riley.
I'm impressed by that one, Riley. Almost 5 pounds there.
Yeah.
It's a good fish.
I would say we didn't double our count, but if you add up all the weight of the fish we caught prior to that one, that fish weighed more than all the other fish.
That's
so
fair.
I made up for it.
I'll let it go.
Yeah.
I'll let it go this time.
But also, too, a lot of people who may not have known Lake Olmsted's a good place to go. You hadn't been there yet, so.
Yeah, well, I've fished Lake Olmsted a couple times, but it's always tough because a lot of people fish it, so there's a lot of fishing pressure on that lake. So you got to make sure that you really put some patience and some time into it. But hey, you cast in the right spot, you can get a big fish like that for sure.
Yeah, certainly was a good-looking fish.
It was. Appreciate it. And if you're heading to the lake or the river tomorrow, we do have a decent game and fish forecast. Ideally, you want to be out there kind of later into the evening between 7 and 8 p.m. Having a look at that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
This is a simple. Lease new Kia Sorentos with third row seating, just $5 a day.
And new K4s, $5 a day.
Even new K5s, just $5 a day.
Need credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got a job, you ride.
$5 markdown days at Evans Kia in Evans, Georgia. EvansKia.com.
Welcome back, folks. Live look over Beach Island. You can see we brought back some sunshine, but definitely a pollen haze out there across the region. Remember, very windy, too. Sustained wind is actually between 20 to 25 miles an hour, and we're seeing some gusts get close to 40. So if you're heading out for the rest of this evening, be prepared for these windy conditions. We are expecting a mostly dry evening. There could be a very low chance for a stray shower late tonight. Looks to be fairly dry, though, for most of us. Early tomorrow morning, it is going to be cold. We're going to be waking up into the 30s with our actual temps. A little bit of wind. It will likely make it feel colder, so be prepared for a cold start to your Friday. Later into the afternoon, our high temps will be below average, most likely mid and upper 60s, but generally a nice day. A lot of sun and not going to be quite as gusty out there for our Friday. Wind will pick up a little bit heading into our Saturday, at least 10 to 20 miles an hour. Once we get into Sunday, we're back to sunny skies and high temps near 80. Next chance for rain looks to be on Monday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
The weather, it's something that affects us all every day, from sunny to severe and anything in between. This is why we First Alert.
Ready to liven things up and add a little